thinking about the changes, the educational process, how we learn and how we teach fire behavior, how we teach fire management, how we teach our firefighters coming up the business. And I've been a proponent for a number of years and have always challenged the people that work for me or anybody I get to be a student of the business. Never stop learning. My wife Kathy and I were in a home-based business one time, and we spent a whole lot of money to go to this weekend seminar in Southern California and had to stay at a pretty fancy hotel and spend a lot of money and listen to these people talk. And the gentleman got up and he said one sentence that stuck with me over the years that made it worth the however many hundreds of dollars we spent. But he said that leaders are readers. And that kind of stuck with me, and it really does. If you're a student of the business, you read everything you can. And there's more and more being written about fire behavior and fire in the ecosystem and how fire managers need to be aware of that, and how line officers and elected officials need to be aware of that. On the non-federal side, they're called chief executive officers of the counties. And you think about the national forest, and I'll use the Forest Service because I'm more familiar with it, but every national forest we have overlays counties within a state. So there are those levels of government in there that also need to be educated and understand how the business is done and how we teach people. So we've had, and I was again fortunate to be able to be involved in teaching, from teaching our seasonal firefighters basic fire behavior to teaching in our fire academies at the county, teaching state fire marshal level training, being an instructor and a coach at S520, Advanced Incident Management, and actually being a co-chair for that committee for a while. I really did have opportunity to interface with a lot of young folks coming up, and it really was kind of exciting to understand the progression and the evolution of training in the fire service, both on the structural side and the wildland side, and the opportunities that we now have. Online training, webinars, the different kinds of platforms we can deliver. You don't have to go to a class and sit through death by PowerPoint, or you don't have to stand and just tell stories. We have all these exciting fire modeling programs that we can actually sit down and do a tabletop exercise with 3D modeling. And it wouldn't surprise me that somebody out there isn't already developing something for the virtual goggles that you can buy, everywhere, and actually do a whole simulation with people sitting in a classroom with virtual reality, and put people in situations that are very, very real, so that you get that adrenaline pump, you get that, and those human factors kick in.